Akong duha ka igsuon. Wa na. Nelson would come here every afternoon, pakataon ko. Marlon changed the face of Brilli. Naghan pa kayo siya plano. Wala silang duha. Kinangan itong ospital. Tuos muna po. Once you have symptoms, pagpa-test, isolate yourself. Ayaw itawang paglibot-libot o lakaw-lakaw kay maka-infect mo uban, maka-among-among mo. Pagpa-test. Pusog namang resulta ron ba? And immediately kung positive mo, take the proper medication. For this, I would like to thank Secretary Mike Dino. He has supplied thousands of abigans sa mga ospital tanan, but in this particular hospital, dili ipainom ang akong gihatag nga abigan. Nagikan ni Secretary Mike Dino. Kaya ang ilag yun ipainom, katong ilang chargean, initially 80,000 kada hatag. Pagkadungog na we raise the roof na tag 80,000, napo sa tag 80,000, 800,000 na. When we hit the roof, kasi kang Nelson, mauna ang feedback, 80,000. Ginaog nila to 10,000. Kibaw ba mo nagpalit may ani nga medisina para sa atong provincial hospitals? Di lang na ko ihisgutan. Pero nami PO. Ang cost ana, na ilang chargean og 80,000? 6,350. Lain-lain ra ba ang costing? Nami igagaw? Nasod sad sa maog gyapong ospital, giswab, katulo na negative. Pero gipainom gihapon anang tambala. Naaman mi tanan records, muhatag mo tug apidabit. Dili lang Garcia ang apelyido. Painom gihapon anang tambala, ang charge 20,000. Diferensya ang presyo. Pero tag 20,000. Unya gi-discharge after 3 days. Of course, why na bayran? Kay i-charge mas PhilHealth, moderate, 400,000. Mao gyapon nga ospital. Pero mas maayod, makritikal, kay 750,000 man ang makolekta. So, inigabot o critical, kinanglan i-intubate, kinanglan na i-ventilator. Pero in spite of that, maski maayo, basta ka-afford lang ka, ibalhin ka ICU. Moto, niabot ang bill sa akong igsuon, 5.2 million. This is what happened to us. The public is free to draw your own conclusions. What is this all about? What is the treatment of COVID all about? Is it really to save lives or to make money? Alang ba ni aron mabuhi? O aron mas dako ang makolekta?
Kinsa nga mga expert ato ang i-ask to look into this matter?
We will not disclose their names at this time, no?
Oo,
Yeah, we will get experts in pulmonology and experts in infectious diseases, no? Kiboka medical community is very close-knit community, no? So we'd rather not disclose our experts at this time.
Would it also include government regulators, experts from government regulators?
Well,
Like
you know, in any inquiry, no, I think one of the best first. I'm speaking as a lawyer, no? When we get experts, we always go first to the government medical experts because well, the government, and number two, we all know that they're more exposed, no, to cases and they have vast experience in this field. So of course we will
In this case, bang, it's DOH.
we have not gone that far, no? We have not discussed it. As you said, we have just barely had time, no? After past few weeks of, as you can imagine. So we will discuss that with the family and with the experts.
Kung pwede na daw, katong time ba gusto ka mo gawa si Sir Marlon, wala kang ikuan, ipabali na siya dahil hospitality siya buhayan sa kanina hospital.
Gwen, I think my sister can answer that better.
You know, nindot kayo ng kuan ba? Looking back because you have 20/20 vision. You try to imagine us, pamilya. Ang nagsulti na, di mo sugot pinaka-espesyalista. Kung napasay, di puno, anak, di lang nako isulti. Di gyud siya mo sugot. At the time, who could have foreseen nga mo deteriorate? Butuo man kakisama imong tuon, di ba, doktor? Nganong amo mang, why would even think nga among ibalhin og laing ospital? We still had faith in this doctor. She said something, wagay na ko tubaga. I did not want to antagonize her. During that conversation, nga wa siya mo atubang namo. Gi-loudspeaker lang ang telepono. Doon na siya gisulti. I bit my tongue. You know me, ako, makadungog lang ko usa, mu-react ko, wa ko ni-react. Kay, ang ako lang yun nga, ayuhon niya ang akong mga manghon. Monday to. By Tuesday, nag-fever. Deteriorate. Finally, pagkamatay na ni Nelson, nag-dialysis na, diha na ni, and Dr. Yango is aware of this, she can, Friday when I was talking, kay grabe naman, kita naman yung klarong infections nila, ningon ako, nganong dili naman lang ni sila ibalhin, there has to be a breakthrough. They are obviously following the wrong strategy. Kinahanglan doon ay mausab, ani. Usbo nila ilang strategy. But, and you have to know this, I'm not the final decision maker here. Dili, si Pablo Jan. It's the immediate family. And of course, the immediate family, nito usad. Yun, kay mga, sila guning pinaka-experts. But by the time na matay na si Nelson, si Winston, i-weigh in na, ningon, ibalhin ta naglain ospital. Or even then, at that time, ibalhin na og lain nga, nga room, ayaw diha. Ang tubag, naghemodialysis naman niya, ang dialysis machine na araman sa ICU. Dili man makaya sa private room. Wag ibawt ako mga igsuon.
Clarification, Gov. Is the family implying that this particular hospital is kanang nangwarta sa COVID treatment, not just with your two brothers, but also in other.
As I said, Dale, we are asking questions right now. We will have conclusions later on, but certainly we are looking at these circumstances. nganong taas mo kaya ang bill. Nga naman nga after having recovered, continuous mangyapon ng katong ilang strategy nga which would cost a lot. So we're raising questions. We're not making conclusions yet. That's for the experts later on to tell us whether this treatment, this particular intervention could have, which were expensive, could have been avoided and another route taken. So at this point, the family is grieving and family is asking questions. But we would like to make the public aware that there are these kinds of treatments and interventions that could cause the death of a patient who has already recovered from COVID. So it's not the COVID that's in these cases. It's not the COVID that was the problem. It was the intervention after they had recovered from COVID. That, according to the medical certificate, said caused the deaths of my brother. So, aron ang public is aware. So that simbako lang, because I would not wish this thing to happen even to my worst enemies. Not even to my worst enemies. Ang kasakit. Simbako lang. Usa sa inyong pamilya, moabot sa punto nga kinanglan na gyud siya sa ospital, no? Tingali ma-avoid ninyo ang kaning mga ospital or mga treatment na or intervention nga inay nga makapaayo sa usa ka pasyente, mananoy makapatay sa usa ka pasyente. So this is, if our brother's death would have any meaning at all, it is to prevent others from suffering the same fate. So ask around lang. We will not di manaamo, it's not our job. Ask around kung asa man ang ospital nga, kung try to avoid ka ng ventilator, no? Ventilator cause the death, and who only use ventilators as a last resort. Kana ask around lang, and ask around which hospitals have a pretty high batting average of COVID recoveries. Actually, dili man COVID recoveries, no? Okay, ni-recover naman ang akong mga isuon, no? It's the treatment after they recovered, no? How so that's to answer your question. Right now, we are only asking these questions to make the public aware that there is this kind of thing going on. We're not making any conclusions yet. But the public
Should be forewarned.
should be forewarned. No? Should be forewarned.
Sir, did the hospital po explain why do they have to keep your brother in ICU po, knowing the fact that both of them have recovered already? Did they explain it to you? Ano pa po ngayon? Or wala pa?
Well,
Didn't I say that on the day that Marlon sent the text, and he said, Chris, tell your mom, di ba ningon ko, I'm willing to sign any waiver. And then I said, and I am repeating this, we asked for a meeting with the doctors. None of them faced us. Only one answered, kay busy kuno kayo sila. And I only had that day to talk with them because I was going around the province pagka Tuesday. And when we asked her that Marlon already wants to go out, she refused. And did I not say that the reason why iyang gibalhin gikan sa COVID ICU kuno ni anak nga particular ICU kay dunay usa ka nurse nga ma-assign ra gyud ana sa akong brothers sa duha. But now my sister-in-law Gima tells me, in fact the nurse was going around. Maura gyud to'y rason. Kay na ay particular nga nurse nga ma-assign tagsa sa akong duha ka igsuon. Kung doktor pa ko, with the knowledge of my aunt who is in the States, an anesthesiologist, I would immediately have said, dan ato ibutang o private room, kay doktor man ko, nga kibaw man kong infectious kaayo, na diha nga environment. But Winston told her, this doctor,
From experience.
ningon siya, from experience, ako na ning giistorya. Okay? Nga kana rabang ICU mo ilabing infectious na environment. Mautong siya nga gioperahan, nagdali gyud ang doktor nga pabalik sa iyang private room. Unsay tubag ayan ang doktora, wa mo tingog. Ako, layman man lagi taon ko, kutob ramang kong tuog. Diha ra gyud kutob in taon ng akong utok pag una-una. Uy, padadaan ako air purifying system dito. Nagpada ako. Pero resistant na magali sa highest generation of bacteria of antibiotics kanang mga bakterya diha. Unsa man tay mahimo atong akong purification system. Ipatagsaan to na ako. Gawas pa sa gipadadaan ako pag yun, o ganang personal, ga ipaduol lang nila. Marang that's the best I could do, di ako paduol nila.
And I think, Dale ba, to answer your question, this question should be raised now. No? Kay naman guning ongoing batang kanibitang kwan about PhilHealth and how hospitals are charging PhilHealth. No? And right now, we know nga ang lahi man ang charging, no? Kung suspected of COVID, 160,000. No?
COVID suspect.
They charge PhilHealth up to 160,000. No? Kung moderate symptoms of COVID, 400,000. Kung critical, meaning kinanglanan ni ICU, 750,000. So, this question should be answered now, asked now, so that they will be answered. Nga, isn't there an incentive, no, for the hospital to put people who otherwise would not be needing ICU confinement, to put them in ICU so that a hospital, I'm not saying which particular hospital, a hospital can charge the maximum of 750,000 with PhilHealth. Diba? Isn't that question relevant now? Kaya naman ko'y igagaw, okay, who around the same time was admitted to the same hospital. Kaya abi na may symptoms, no? Pa-admit siya, pero pag-test nila, negative. Okay? Negative. So meaning, dili yun na COVID suspect, o labi na yun nga dili moderate COVID suspect. Pero nga naman, nga bisag negative na siya,
Kapila gitest.
kapila, kalimagod siya gi x-ray. Kay clear man ang primerong x-ray. Uy, basig, dili ni tinuod kay clear man. Si kaduha, clear gihapon. Katulo, clear gihapon. Kalima siya gi x-ray. So bisag negative na siya ang iyang test, no, sa COVID, sa swab test. He underwent the same treatment. Hatagan gyapon siya atong tambal nga tong mahal kayo. No? Ilang konsulti sa to. Kanang mahal kayo nga
Pero,
para treatment sa COVID.
Pero maglain-lain ang presyo.
Oh, maglain-lain
Depende
presyo.
sa pasyente.
80 na 20 na Gs. No? Oh. Ngano man nga negative man siya for COVID, nganong pa-undergo man siya treatment for COVID. Iyang bill 400,000. Wa siya nabayran kay adtos PhilHealth, no? So aren't these questions valid now? Sagdi na lang mi, no? Kung ilaming chargean, mangita mig paagi, makabayad mi ng milyon-milyon. Okay. Pero wa ba nila ang mga hospital, wa ba ang mga hospital? I'm not saying all hospital, but isn't it possible nga na yung mga hospital nga gitikasan na ang gobyerno
At
sa
the
pag-diagnose pala at the expense of the government aron maka-charge sa PhilHealth at the expense of the taxpayers.
And at the expense of people's lives.
Yeah, at the expense of people's lives. Nga giving them medication, treatment, and interventions that are unnecessary and might be detrimental to their health. So isn't this relevant